2-minute warning, 2-minute warning to the first of 4 forerunners. Attention athletes, there will be a 30-second ice box, 30-second ice box. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for the first of 4 forerunners. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Track's now clear for the second of 4 forerunners. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for our third of 4 forerunners. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Welcome race fans to the Utah Olympic Park. Today we have race 4 for the North American Cup, skeleton women's and men's races. Over here on trackside, we just have a few rules. There's no sitting, leaning, or standing on the fences. All buildings and coaches' grates along the track are for coaches and athletes only. There's no throwing of objects at or around the track, and at no time enter the track surface. These rules are for your safety as well as the safety of our athletes. Enjoy your time here at the Utah Olympic Park. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for our fourth and final forerunner. Sled and track from the skeleton start. 2-minute warning to Katie Tannenbaum at the skeleton start. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Katie Tannenbaum. Sled and track from the skeleton start with our first competitive slider here at the North American Race 4 Women's skeleton, we have Katie Tannenbaum from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Start time, 5.30 seconds. Katie's now going through our speed trap, 81.4 miles an hour. She's setting a high bar for this race here. Exiting curve 11, good line out of 11 into 12. Now 13. Nice line out of 13 coming down through our low point. Little skidding, hitting sliders right there. Coming up through the finish line. Downtime, 50.79 seconds. Attention athletes, the run out is extremely quick. Brake early, brake hard. Again, run out very fast. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Mackenzie Adams. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Shalonda Terry, stand by, please. In the track from Canada, we have Mackenzie Adams with a push time of 5.65 seconds. She is now 48 hundredths behind the pace as she enters into curve 4. Now into 5, cutthroat. Good line out of 5 into 6. She's approaching that speed trap. What will her speed be? 77.7 miles an hour as she approaches those labyrinth curves. Now into curve 11. She is now fallen behind by over a second behind the pace. Coming out of 12 into 13. Good line out of 13 into 14, approaching the low point. Speed at low point, 72.2 miles an hour as she crosses the finish line with a downtime of 52.99 seconds. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Shalonda Terry. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Hannah Russworm, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Shalonda Terry with a push time of 5.12 seconds. She is currently 15 hundredths ahead of the pace as she comes through curve 4 into curve 5. Little skid toe drop there in the 5-6 straightaway at a 6 into 7. Top speed, 80.3 miles an hour as she goes through those labyrinth curves. She is now approximately 14 hundredths behind the pace as she comes out of 11 really high into 12, 13. She seems to get it under control. Coming down through low point, maintaining a speed of 75.2 miles an hour. Touching a little bit early going into 15. Downtime, 51.22 seconds. Currently second place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Hannah Russworm. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Kendall Wessenberg, stand by, please. Sliding for Finland, we have Hannah Russworm with a push time of 5.29 seconds. Entering into curve 3, she is currently 600 behind the pace as she exits 4. Good line into 5. Now 6. Let's see what her top speed. She needs to get some good speed here. Top speed, 79 miles an hour as she goes into curves 9 and 10. Now entering 11, she is now fallen behind the pace by 64 hundredths. As she exits 12, a little high, gets it under control, good line out of 13. Coming now through low point with a speed of 75.3 miles an hour, crossing that finish line with a downtime of 51.70 seconds. Currently, 3rd place at this time. And attention athletes, one more reminder, run out is extremely fast. Again, extremely fast. Brake early, brake hard. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Kendall Wessenberg. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Hannah Gaskin, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Kendall Wessenberg. Push time, 5.27 seconds. Kendall Wessenberg won our race yesterday, and we're seeing if she can improve on that momentum. She is currently 9 hundredths ahead of the pace as she comes out of curve 6. Top speed, 81.4 miles an hour. Now going through those labyrinth curves, nice line through the 10-11 straight into 11. Out of 11, she's now 19 hundredths ahead of the pace. Going into 13, now 14. Top speed out of 14, 80.1 miles an hour. Now crossing that finish line with a downtime of 49.81 seconds. Currently, 1st place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Hannah Gaskins. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Liesl Baker, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Hannah Gaskins. Push time, 5.18 seconds. She is currently 9 hundredths ahead of the pace as she goes into curve 4. Good line into 5. Now 6. She is now 700 behind the pace. She'll need to make up some speed here. Top speed, 79.8 miles an hour. Not quite fast enough to catch that top spot, so we'll see where she lands up. Now exiting curve 11, a little high out of 11 into 12. Gets it under control. Good line into 13, now 14. Top speed out of 14, 76.7 miles an hour. Brushing that slider's left as she comes up through the run out. Downtime, 50.93 seconds. Currently in 3rd place. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Liesl Baker. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Laura Vargas, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Liesl Baker. Push time, 5.28 seconds. Currently 700ths behind the pace as she goes through 3, now 4. Little early into cutthroat, gets it under control, now into 6. Currently 2300ths behind the pace. Top speed, 80.4 miles an hour, going through those labyrinth curves. Now into 11, dropping a little bit further behind. 3800ths behind now. Now 5100ths going into 13. Now 14. Top speed out of 14, 76.7 miles an hour. Downtime, 50.90 seconds. Currently third place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Laura Vargas. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Logan Woody, stand by, please. Sliding for Columbia, we have Laura Vargas. Push time, 5.23 seconds. She's 400ths behind that pace as she enters into curve 4. Good line out of 4 into 5. Now 6. Exit of 6 is where we get our top speed. Top speed is 79.7 miles an hour. Currently dropping back, you know, 3900ths behind the pace, going through curve 11. Good line out of 11 into 12. Now 13. Dropping that toe at the exit of 13, going into 14. It'll cost her a little bit of time as she cruises up. Low point, downtime, 51.19 seconds. Currently, 5th place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Logan Woody. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Madeline Para, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Logan Woody. Push time, 5.35 seconds. Currently 1800ths behind the pace, going through curve 4. Now into 5, now 6. Good line out of 6. Top speed, 81.1 miles an hour, going through those labyrinth curves. That's some pretty good speed there as we go into curve 11. Now 4900ths behind the pace. Little trouble out of 12. Puts her early into 13, but gets it under control. Coming down through 14. Dropping those toes in low point as she comes up through the finish line. Downtime, 51.11 seconds. Currently 5th place at this time. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Madeline Para. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Nicole Jones, stand by, please. Sliding for Canada, we have Madeline Para. Push time, 5.52 seconds as she enters into curve 3, now 4. She's now half second behind the pace as she comes down, touching sliders right before 6. Good line out of 6 into 7, way high out of 7. Going now through the labyrinth curves, top speed, 76.4 miles an hour. Coming out of 11, she is now 2 seconds behind the pace. Good line out of 12 and 13. Top speed out of 14, 74.2 miles an hour as she bumps a little bit in low point, crossing that finish line at 53.31 seconds. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Nicole Jones. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Julia Hamilton, stand by, please. In the track, we have Nicole Jones sliding for Canada. She's one of 5 Canadians sliding today. Push time, 6.23 seconds as she cruises into curve 4. Little late going into 5. Gets a little trouble going in the 5-6 straightaway. Touching a little bit out of 7, which puts her high in 7. It's getting through those labyrinth curves, touching a little sliders left before 11. We'll see how that affects her. Little early into 12. 13, good line out of 13. Coming down through our low point, top speed, 72.4 miles an hour. Crossing that finish line, 54.59 seconds. Currently 11th at this time with 2 sliders remaining. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Julia Hamilton. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Emily Bateman, stand by, please. Sliding for Canada, we have Julia Hamilton. Start time, 5.77 seconds. Entering into curve 2, now 3. She is currently 75 hundredths behind the pace as she enters into curve 4. Entering into Cutthroat, now Snowy. Hitting sliders right as she comes out of 6, going through those labyrinth curves. Top speed, 74.4 miles an hour. Little skid going into 11. See how that affects her coming out of 11. It does no effect. Good line out of 11 into 12. Now 13, exiting 14. Top speed, 70.8 miles an hour, crossing that finish line, 54.98 seconds. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Emily Bateman. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Currently in the track, we have Emily Bateman for Canada. She is our last competitive slider for Heat 1 of the North American Cup Women's Skeleton Race 4. She is currently 43 hundredths behind the pace as she enters into curve 6. Coming upon that speed trap, what's her speed? 77.5 miles an hour as she goes through those labyrinth curves. Little touch coming out of sliders left in the 10-11 straightaway, going into 11. Good line out of 11 into 12. Now 13. Good line out of 13 into 14, coming upon our low point. Little ping pong action there, going through low point. Downtime, 54.92 seconds. Our top 6, our unofficial top 6. In 6th place, we have Laura Vargas from Colombia with a 51.19 seconds. In 5th, we have Logan Woody from the United States of America with a 51.11. In 4th, we have Hannah Gaskins from the United States of America at a 50.93 seconds. In 3rd, we have Cecil Baker from the United States of America with a 50.90 seconds. In 2nd, we have Katie Tannenbaum from the U.S. Virgin Islands with a downtime of 50.79 seconds. And in 1st place, we have Kendall Wessenberg from the United States of America with a downtime of 49.81 seconds. 5-minute warning, 5-minute warning to the first of 2 forerunners.
2-minute warning, 2-minute warning for our 4-runner sled, 2-minute warning.
Track's now clear at the skeleton start for the first of 2 4-runners. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for our second of 2 4-runners. Sled in track from the skeleton start. 2-minute warning to Jeff Bauer at the skeleton start. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Jeff Bauer. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Jared Firestone, stand by, please. We are back to racing with our first competitive men. Jeff Bauer from Luxembourg in this North American Cup men's skeleton race, race 4. Jeff is looking to set a high bar as our first competitive slider. Coming down through 6. Top speed, 81.1 miles an hour, entering those labyrinth curves. Straight down the middle of the 10-11 straightaway. Good line at 11 into 12. Now 13. Exit of 14 into low point, couple taps. Top speed, 77.8. Downtime, 50.37 seconds. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Jared Firestone. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Andrew Whittier, stand by, please. In the track, we have Jared Firestone sliding for Israel. Push time, 4.91 seconds. He's currently 46 hundredths ahead of the pace as he exits curve 4 into 5. Maybe a little touch into sliders right as he went to the 5-6 straightaway. Top speed, 78.6 miles an hour through those labyrinth curves. Now entering 11. Good line out of 11 into 12. He's now only 2 hundredths ahead of the pace as he goes into curve 14. Little hits, sliders left, then sliders right as he comes up through the finish line with a downtime of 50.25 seconds. He was able to take over that top spot. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Andrew Whittier. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Linway Pang, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Andrew Whittier. Push time, an extremely fast 4.66 seconds. He's ahead of the pace by 35 hundredths of a second as he cruises through the 6 into 7. Top speed, 82.5 miles an hour as he goes now through the 10-11 straight. Nice straight line through the 10-11 straightaway into 11. Little high out of 11, puts him into 12. We'll see what he does. Good line out of 12 into 13. Approaching low point. Oh, hugging that sliders right through low point. Downtime, 49.03 seconds. Currently first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Lin Wei Peng. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Josip Brusik, stand by play, please. In the track from Chinese Taipei, we have Lin Wei Peng, push time, 4.80 seconds. He's currently 21 hundredths behind the pace as he comes through 4 into 5. Good line out of 5 into 6. Top speed, 81.4 miles an hour, not quite as fast as our leader, Andrew Whittier, as he goes through the 10-11 straightaway. Exiting 11, he is now 42 hundredths behind the pace. Going through the 12-13, now 14. Top speed exit of 14, 78.6 miles an hour, dropping that toe. That's going to cost him a little bit more time as he crosses the finish line at a 49.71 seconds. Currently second place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Josip Brusik. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Noah Park, stand by, please. Sliding for Canada, we have Josip Brusik with a start time of 4.77 seconds. As he goes into curve 4, he is currently 15 hundredths behind the pace. Little skid through the 4-5 straightaway, and now into 6. Good line out of 6 into 7. Top speed, 79.7 miles an hour, going through those labyrinth curves. Labyrinth, series of quick left and right curves. Out of 11, good line into 12. Currently 82 hundredths behind the pace as he goes down through 14. Top speed out of 14, 72.6 miles an hour. Downtime, 50.22 seconds. Currently third place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Noah Park. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Chung Hong Chang, stand by, please. In the track, sliding for USA, is Noah Park. Push time, 5.03 seconds. And welcome guests to the Utah Olympic Park. Today is race day. We currently have a sled in the track. And we just have a few rules over here on trackside. There's no standing, sitting, or leaning on the fence lines. At no point are you to throw objects at or around the track. All buildings and grates along the track are for athletes and coaches only, and at no time enter the track surface. These rules are for your safety as well as the safety of our athletes. Our best viewing area is in curve 12, the Olympic corner. That way you'll be able to see good height and good oscillation as they fly on by. Noah Park, downtime, 50.95 seconds. Currently, 6th place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Chung Hung Chang. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Oren Milstein, stand by, please. Sliding for Chinese Taipei, we have Chung Hung Chang with a push time of 4.91 seconds. Chung Hung Chang is currently 37 hundredths behind the pace as he exits curve 4. Now he's into 6. Little early into 7, sends him high into 7. Top speed, 80.3 miles an hour as he enters into curve 11. Good line in 11. Hitting sliders left out of 11 going into 12. Gets it under control. Good line out of 12 into 13. Now 14. Brushing that sliders right and hugging it. Downtime, 50.19 seconds. Currently, 3rd place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Oren Milstein. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Kevin Hang Lee, stand by, please. Sliding for Israel, we have Oren Milstein, push time, 5 seconds flat. Going into curve 3, he is currently 5,500 hundredths behind the pace as he goes through 4, 5, now 6. Good line out of 6 into 7. Top speed, 80.2 miles an hour as he's going through those labyrinth curves. Hugging sliders right going into curve 11. Puts him high out of 11. Dropping out hard. Now 12, 13, going into 14. Top speed out of 14, 75.7 miles an hour. Downtime. Having a little trouble coming out of 15, crossing that finish line. Downtime, 50.70 seconds. Currently, 7th at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Kevin Hang Lee. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Sebastian Rainier, stand by, please. Sliding for Chinese Taipei, we have Kevin Hang Lee. Push time, 4.93 seconds. Kevin is now entering curve 4, currently 4,200 hundredths behind the pace. High out of 4 puts him into sliders left as he now is going into 6, now 7. Little high out of 7, but gets it under control going through those labyrinth curves. Currently a full second behind the pace as he goes into curve 11, a little early into 12. Good line at 12 into 13, now 14. Right down the middle of 14. Downtime, 50.78 seconds. Currently, 8th place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Sebastian Rainier. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Callie Consalves, stand by, please. In the track, we have Sebastian Rainier sliding for Canada. Sebastian had a really quick 4.63 start time. That's our fastest start time so far today in Heat 1. Sebastian is currently 900ths ahead of the pace as he goes through our speed trap at 80.4 miles an hour. Right down the middle of that 10-11 straight, exiting 11. He is now a full half second behind the pace as he goes into 12, 13, now 14. Hitting our low point at 69.9 miles an hour. Coming up through the run out. Finish time, 50.92 seconds. Currently, 9th place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Callie Consalves. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Marc-Antoine Vinault, stand by, please. In the track, sliding for Brazil, we have Callie Consalves. Push time, 5.06 seconds. Entering curve 4, Callie is currently 7,200ths behind that pace as he goes through 5, now 6. Hitting sliders right, going out, puts him high out of 7. Top speed, 77.9 miles an hour. Now into 11. Little early out of 11, puts him into sliders left, and then again out of 12, puts him into sliders right. Hugging that sliders left wall through low point, crossing the finish line with a downtime of 52.76 seconds. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Marc-Antoine Vinault. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Eduardo Strapison, stand by, please. Sliding for Canada, we have Marc-Antoine Vinault. Push time, 4.95 seconds. Entering curve 4, Mark is currently 4,500 behind the pace as he goes through 5, now into 6. What is his top speed going to be coming out? 80.5 miles an hour as he's going through those labyrinth curves. Straight down the middle of the 10-11 straightaway into 11. Little late out of 11, dropping out. 12, now 13. Good line out of 13 into 14. Top speed out of 14, 78.1 miles an hour. Crossing that finish line with a downtime of 50 seconds flat. Currently third place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Eduardo Strapison. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Baden Park, stand by, please. In the track sliding for Brazil, we have Eduardo Strapison. Push time, 5.04 seconds. Hitting right before curve 3. Makes him go a little weird through the 3-4 straightaway, but gets it under control. Eduardo's now exiting 6 into 7. Good lines out of 6 and 7. Top speed, 80.6 miles an hour. Hugging that sliders right, going into curve 11. Little high at 11, puts him into sliders left. Gets it under control. Good line out of 12, and now 13. Going through low point. Hugging sliders right through low point, crossing that finish line at 50.61 seconds. Currently 8th place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Baden Park. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Massimo Ardizzoni, stand by, please. In the track sliding for the United States of America, we have Baden Park. Push time, 4.97 seconds. Baden is currently 4,800ths behind the pace as he goes into cutthroat. Now curve 6. We'll see what his top speed is as he goes through 6-7. 80.9 miles an hour as he hits that 10-11 straight, right down the middle. Good line into 11. At 11 into 12. Good line out of 12 into 13. Now 14. He's now 9,400ths behind the pace as he's hugging that sliders right through low point, crossing the finish line with a downtime of 50.22 seconds. Currently 5th place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Massimo Ardizzoni. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Tyler Lutz, stand by, please. Sliding for Canada, we have Massimo Artizzoni with a push time of 4.82 seconds. Massimo is currently 32 hundredths behind the pace as he exits 4 into 5. Now 6. Approaching that speed trap with a top speed of 77.6 miles an hour as he goes through those labyrinth corners. Touching sliders left right before curve 11. Sends him high into 11 as he drops out. Touching sliders left. Going into 13, takes him high out of 13. He gets it under control, though, as he hugs that slider's right wall, going through low point. Downtime, 52.35 seconds. Currently 14th at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Tyler Lutz. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Nicholas Dunn, stand by please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Tyler Lutz, push time, 4.70 seconds. Tyler Lutz is currently 8 hundredths behind the pace as he comes through curve 4 into 5. Good lines out of 5 into 6. Approaching that speed trap, 18 hundredths behind with a top speed of 79.5 miles an hour. Good line through the 10-11 straightaway into 11. Now 12. Dropping further behind, he's now 73 hundredths behind the pace as he enters 14. Top speed out of 14, 75.3 miles an hour. Crossing that finish line with a downtime of 50.39 seconds. Currently 9th at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Nicholas Dunn. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Tony Furnell, stand by please. Sliding for Canada, we have Nicholas Dunn with a start time of 4.73 seconds. Entering curve 4, Nicholas is 15 hundredths behind the pace. He's now out of 5, going into 6. Good line out of 6 into 7. Top speed, 79.1 miles an hour as he goes through those labyrinth curves. Touching sliders right as he goes into curve 11. Little early into 12. Gets it under control. 12, now 13. Approaching our low point. Right down the middle of low point. Crossing that finish line with a downtime of 51.64 seconds. Attention, clear the track. Skeleton start through the run out. Skeleton start through the run out. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Nicholas Brooks, stand by, please. In the track sliding for the United States of America, we have Tony Furnells with a start time of 4.94 seconds. Exiting curve 4 a little late, puts him into sliders left. Puts him high into 6, coming out. Now going through those labyrinth curves at 76.5 miles an hour, touching sliders right, going through the 10-11 straightaway. High out of curve 11, puts him into sliders left, coming out of 11. Gets it under control, though. Going now into 14. He'll hit left, then right, going through low point, coming up through the finish line with a downtime of 52.07 seconds. Currently 16th, with 1 slider remaining in Heat 1. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Nick Brooks. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Our final competitor here in Heat 1 of the North American Cup Race 4 men's skeleton is Nicholas Brooks from the United States of America. Nick's push time, 4.86 seconds. Nick is currently 37 hundredths behind the pace as he goes through 6, now 7. Top speed, 80 miles an hour going through those labyrinth curves. Hitting sliders right as he goes through the 10-11 straightaway. Now into 12. Hitting early out of 12. Gets it under control, though. Good line out of 13. Coming out of 14. Dragging that toe through low points. Going to cost him a little bit of time as he crosses that finish line at a 50.70 seconds. Currently 11th place. 5-minute warning. 5-minute warning to the first of 2 forerunners. Top 6. Or actually, we got a tie for 5th place with Baden Park from the United States of America and Josip Brusic from Canada with a 50.22 seconds. In 4th place, we have Chung Hong Chang from Chinese Taipei with a downtime of 50.19 seconds. In 3rd place, we have Marc-Antoine Binault from Canada with a 50-second flat. In 2nd place, we have Lin Wei Peng from Chinese Taipei with a 49.71 seconds. And currently in 1st place, we have Andrew Whittier with a downtime of 49.03 seconds. Attention athletes, ladies, Parc Fermé is now closed. 2-minute warning, 2-minute warning to the first of 2 forerunners. Track's now clear for the first of 2 forerunners. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for the second of 2 forerunners. Sled and track from the skeleton start. 2-minute warning, 2-minute warning to Julia Hamilton at the skeleton start. Attention, clear the track. Skeleton start through the run out. Skeleton start through the run out. Track's now clear for Julia Hamilton. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Emily Bateman, stand by, please. And we're back to racing with heat number 2 of the Women's North American Cup skeleton race. Currently in the track, we have Julia Hamilton from Canada. Push time, 6.02 seconds. The race is a combined downtimes of heat 1 and 2. And we run our athletes in reverse order by rank, which means our fastest sliders from heat 1 will be going at the end of heat 2. So we are going to see a lot of lean changes and people trying to move up and get a better position during the race. Julia's coming up through curve 15 right now, crossing that finish line at a 56.36 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 51.34 seconds. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Emily Bateman. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Nicole Jones, stand by, please. Sliding for Canada, we have Emily Bateman, push time, 5.47 seconds. Emily, going into curve 4, is currently 89 hundredths ahead of the pace. She exits 5, touching sliders right, going into 6, now 7. Good line out of 7, hitting those labyrinth curves at 75.8 miles an hour. Hugging that sliders left through the 10-11 straightaway. Good line out of 11 into 12. Little early into 13, but gets it under control. Now 14. Hitting a low point. It's hitting a little right, and then left, and then back to the right. Coming up through the finish line with a downtime of 54.11 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 49.03 seconds. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Nicole Jones. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Madeline Paris, stand by, please. Sliding for Canada, we have Nicole Jones, push time, 6.12 seconds. Going down into the entrance of 3. Currently 52 hundredths behind the pace. She exits 4 into now 5. Good line into 6. Little late into 7, puts her high out of 7. Top speed, 76.7 miles an hour. Going through that 10-11 straightaway into 11. Dropping out of 11. We'll see how that helps her for 12. Good line out of 12 into 13. Now currently 31 hundredths behind the pace as she goes into our low point, hitting left, right, left again, coming up through the run out. Downtime, 54.26 seconds. Combined downtime, 148.85 seconds. Currently, first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Madeline Para. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Mackenzie Adams, stand by, please. Sliding for Canada, we have Madeline Para. Push time, 5.47 seconds. Madeline is currently a full 2 seconds ahead of the pace as she goes into serves 4, now 5. Good line into 6, coming out of 6. Hits that sliders right, sends her high into 7. She gets it under control going into those labyrinth curves at 78.4 miles an hour. Now exiting curve 11, good line out of 11 into 12. Early into 13, sends her high into 13. Little bit trouble. She gets it under control at the exit of 14, coming up through the finish line. Downtime, 54.18 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 47.49 seconds. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Mackenzie Adams. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Hannah Russworm, stand by, please. Sliding for Canada, we have Mackenzie Adams. Push time, 5.60 seconds. Mackenzie's going to need a 54.50 seconds to keep her spot, and she's currently 15 hundredths ahead of that pace as she goes through 6, now 7. She's now 7 hundredths ahead of that pace. 200, she's losing ground going into curves. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 46.20 seconds. Currently first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Hannah Russworm. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Shalonda Terry, stand by, please. In the track, we have Anna Russworm from Finland. Push time, 5.32 seconds. Anna's going to need a 54.50 seconds to keep her spot. In run one, she had a 51.70. So we'll see how this plays out. She's currently a full second, almost 2 seconds ahead of the pace as she's going through those labyrinth curves at 79.2 miles an hour. Good line out of 11 into 12. Now 13. Now coming out of 14. Hitting sliders right, dragging that toe, going up through low point. Crossing that finish line at a 51.74 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute 43.44 seconds. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Shalonda Terry. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Laura Vargas, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Shalonda Terry. Push time, 5.02 seconds as she comes down through curve 4. She's currently 88 hundredths ahead of the pace. She good exit out of 5, now into 6. Losing a little bit of time. Now she's only 72 hundredths as she goes through those labyrinth curves at 78.4 miles an hour. Good line into 11. Now 12, dropping a little back. She's now 68 hundredths ahead of the pace. Good line out of 13, going now through low point. Little skid coming out of low point, going up the run out. Downtime, 51.42 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute 42.64 seconds. Currently first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Laura Vargas. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Logan Woody, stand by, please. In the track sliding for Columbia, we have Laura Vargas with a push time of 5.28 seconds. Laura's going to need a 51.45 to maintain her position, and she's currently 27 hundredths behind that pace as she comes out through curve 6. Now into 7, little high out of 7 going into those labyrinth curves. She's now 26 hundredths behind that pace going into now curve 11. Good line at 11 into 12. She's going to need to make up some speed in the lower half of this track. She's now 3/10 behind the pace going through low point. Coming up through that finish line, will she have it? No. She's got a 51.51 downtime, combined downtime, 1 minute 42.70 seconds. Currently second place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Logan Woody. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Hannah Gaskin, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Logan Woody. Push time, 5.30 seconds. Logan, her first run, she had a 51.11. She'll need a 51.53 to maintain her position. And as she exits curve 6, she's currently 12 hundredths behind that pace. Going through those labyrinth curves at 80.1 miles an hour. Straight down the middle of the 10-11 straightaway. Little high out of 11 puts her into sliders left going into 12. Then it puts her high out of 12 into 13. Coming down through low point. She is 8 hundredths behind the pace. Is she going to keep her spot? Yes. Downtime, 51.43 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 42.54 seconds. Currently, first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Hannah Gaskins. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Liesl Baker, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Hannah Gaskins with a push time of 5.11 seconds. Hannah's going to need a 51.61 to maintain her position, and she's currently 56 hundredths ahead of the pace at this time. Coming out of 6 into 7, top speed, 80.1 miles an hour. Right down the middle of that 10-11 straightaway into 11. High out of 11, she drops out, puts her into sliders left, gets it under control. Good line out of 12, then 13. Coming now down through low point, hitting sliders right, going up through the finish line. Downtime, 51.31 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 42.24 seconds. Currently in first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Liesl Baker. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Katie Tannenbaum, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Liesl Baker. Push time, 5.19 seconds. Liesl's going to need a 51.34 to maintain her position, and she's currently 7 hundredths behind that pace as she comes now through 6 into 7. High out of 7. She gets it under control now. 79 miles an hour as she goes through the 10-11 straightaway. She's now 3/10 behind the pace as she goes into curve 12. Now 13, exiting 13. Good line into 14. Coming through our low point, she's now 4/10 behind the pace. Coming up through the finish line. Downtime, 51.61 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 42.51 seconds. Dropping one position to second place with 2 sliders remaining. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Katie Tannenbaum. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Kendall Wessenberg, stand by, please. In the track, sliding for the U.S. Virgin Islands, we have Katie Tannenbaum. Push time, 5.30 seconds. Katie's going to need a 51.45 seconds. In Heat 1, she had a 50.79, and she's currently 800ths behind the pace as she goes through the curve 6, 7, 80.8 miles an hour as she goes through those labyrinth curves. She's now 200ths behind the pace as she goes through curve 11, now into 12. She's gaining speed. She's now 100th ahead of the pace as she goes through 13. Now into 14, she's 800ths ahead of the pace. Straight down the middle of the 10-11 straightaway as she comes up through the finish line. Downtime, 50.97 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 41.76 seconds. Currently first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Kendall Wessenberg. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Our final competitor is from the United States of America, Kendall Wessenberg. Kendall had the fastest downtime in Heat 1 with a 49.81 seconds. She's going to need a 51.95 to maintain her position and take first place in this race. And currently she's 99 hundredths, basically call it a second ahead of the pace as she's going through those labyrinth curves. She's making this a victory lap. She's now 1 second and a quarter ahead of that pace as she goes through 12, now 13, into 14, going through low point at 81.6 miles an hour, crossing that finish line with a downtime of 50.14 seconds, combined downtime, 1 minute, 39.95 seconds. Our unofficial top 6, we have Shalonda Terry from the United States of America in 6th place, with a combined downtime of 1 minute, 42.64 seconds. In 5th place, we have Logan Woody from the United States of America with a combined downtime of 1 minute, 42.54 seconds. In 4th place, we have Liesl Baker from the United States of America with a combined downtime of 1 minute, 42.51 seconds. In 3rd place, we have Hannah Gaskins from the United States of America with a combined downtime of 1 minute, 42.24 seconds. In 2nd place, we have Katie Tannenbaum from the U.S. Virgin Islands with a combined downtime, 1 minute, 41.76 seconds. And your unofficial leader is Kendall Wessenberg from the United States of America with 1 minute, 39.95 seconds. 5-minute warning to the first of 2 forerunners. And attention athletes, Parc Fermé is closed for the men. 2-minute warning to the first of 2 forerunners. Track's now clear for the first of 2 forerunners. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Track's now clear for the second of 2 forerunners. Sled in track from the skeleton start. 2-minute warning to Tony Furnells at the skeleton start. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Tony Furnells. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Nicholas Dunn, stand by, please. And we're back to racing with men's Heat 2 of the North American Cup, race for skeletons. In the track, we have Tony Furnells from the United States of America. The race goes by the combined downtimes of Heat 1 and Heat 2. And Heat 2 is reverse by rank order. So our fastest sliders will be at the end of Heat 2. So we will see a lot of lead changes as we go through all our sliders. Tony, in the first heat, at a downtime downtime 51.28 seconds. Combined downtime 1 minute 43.35 seconds. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Nicholas Dunn. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Noah Park, stand by, please. In the track, sliding for Canada, we have Nicholas Dunn. Push time, 4.79 seconds. Nicholas is going to need a 51.71 seconds to maintain his position. He'll also be looking to climb a few spots if possible. He is currently 74 hundredths ahead of the pace as he enters those labyrinth curves, going through the 10-11 straight, now into 11. Now going in through 12. Good line out of 12 into 13. Now 56 hundredths behind the pace. Cruising down through low point, going up through the low point, crossing the finish line with a downtime of a 51.39 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute 43.03 seconds. Spectators, I cannot have you under the shades. Those spectators at low point, get out of the shades. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Noah Park. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Sebastian Rainier, stand by, please. In the track, we have Noah Park, sliding for the United States of America. Noah has a push time of 5.09 seconds. Now, welcome guests to the Utah Olympic Park. We have a few rules over here on trackside. There's no sitting, leaning, or standing on the fences. There's no throwing of objects at or around the track, including snowballs. All the grates and buildings alongside the track are for coaches and athletes only, and at no time enter the track surface at any time. These rules are for your safety as well as the safety of our athletes. Your viewing area is up in curve 12, the Olympic corner. It is at the top of the lower loop. We got Noah Park, downtime, 50.42 seconds, combined downtime, 1 minute, 41.37 seconds. Currently, first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Sebastian Rainier. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Kevin Hang Lee, stand by, please. In the track sliding for Canada, we have Sebastian Rainier. Push time, 4.64 seconds. That is a fast push time. Sebastian is going to need a 50.45 seconds to maintain his position. He's currently 83 hundredths ahead of that pace as he goes through those labyrinth curves at 80.2 miles an hour. He's now entering curve 11. Coming out 11 into 12. Good lines from 11 to 12. Now 13. He's now only 48 hundredths ahead of that pace as he goes down through our low point. Dragging that toe is going to cost him a little bit of time. Is he going to maintain his position? No. Downtime, 50.72 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 41.64 seconds. Currently second place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Kevin Hang Lee. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Nick Brooks, stand by, please. Sliding for Chinese Taipei, we have Kevin Hang Lee. Push time, 4.91 seconds. Kevin is going to need a 50.59 seconds to maintain his position. He's currently a half second ahead of that pace as he goes into curve 6, now 7. Headed in those labyrinth curves at 80.1 miles an hour. Losing a little bit of time, though. He's now only 44 hundredths ahead of the pace as he comes out of 11, now into 12. 13. Dropping a little bit. He's now 4/10 ahead of the pace as he goes through our labyrinth. Dropping that toe is going to cost him a little bit of time. 27 hundredths. Is he going to make it? Yes. Downtime, 50.47 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 41.25 seconds. Currently first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Nick Brooks. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Oren Milstein, stand by, please. Sliding for the United States of America, we have Nick Brooks. Push time, 4.86 seconds. Nick Brooks is going to need a 50.55 seconds to maintain his position. In Heat 1, he had a 50.70 seconds. He's currently 14 hundredths ahead of the pace as he heads into those labyrinth curves at 77.8 miles an hour. He's now 2 hundredths behind the pace as he exits curve 11, touching sliders left. Now 12, 13, he's going to need to make up some speed. He's now 18 hundredths behind the pace as he goes through low point, touching sliders left as he comes up through the run out, dropping 3 positions to with a downtime of 50.71 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 41.41. Currently, 3rd place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Oren Milstein. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Eduardo Strapison, stand by, please. In the track, we have Oren Milstein sliding for Israel. Push time, 5.02 seconds. Oren's going to need a 50.55 seconds to maintain his position here. He's currently 11 hundredths behind that pace as he exits 6. High out of 7 going into 8-9. He's now 2 tenths behind that pace as he enters into curve 11. Little late at 11, dropping out, going into 12, now 13. Good line out of 13 and 14. He's now half second behind the pace. Hitting left and right, going through low point. Where's he going to end up? Downtime, 51.19 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 41.89 seconds. Currently in 5th place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Eduardo Strapison. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Tyler Lutz, stand by, please. Sliding for Brazil, we have Eduardo Strapison with a push time of 4.99 seconds. Eduardo's going to need a 50.64 seconds to maintain his position. He's currently 3,500 hundredths behind that pace as he goes into curve 6. Hitting out of curve 6 puts him high out of 7. Gets it under control, though, when he's going through those labyrinth curves. Going through the 10-11 straightaway, straight down the middle. He's now 6,800 hundredths behind the pace as he goes into 12, now 13. Coming out of 14, still losing ground. He's now 8,700 hundredths behind the pace. Where is Eduardo going to end up on the rankings? Coming up through the finish line, he is now 51.56 seconds combined downtime. 1 minute, 42.17 seconds. Currently, 6th place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Tyler Lutz. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Jeff Bauer, stand by, please. In the track, sliding for the United States of America, we have Tyler Lutz. Push time, 4.74 seconds. Tyler's going to need a 50.86 seconds to maintain his position. And he's currently 57 hundredths ahead of the pace as he exits 6. High out of 7. Going through those labyrinth curves at 78.7 miles an hour. Going into curve 11, he's now 33 hundredths ahead of the pace, losing a little bit of ground. Going early into 13, but gets it under control. Going now through our low point. He's 4 hundredths behind the pace as he comes up. Downtime, 50.98 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 41.37 seconds. Drop in 1 position. Currently second place at this time. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Jeff Bauer. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Jared Firestone, stand by, please. In the track sliding for Luxembourg, we have Jeff Bauer. Push time, 5.12 seconds. Jeff is going to need a 50.88 seconds. He is currently 4 hundredths ahead of that pace as he comes down through curve 4, now 5 into 6. Good line out of 6 into 7. Top speed, 80.8 miles an hour. He is now 8 hundredths ahead of that pace as he goes through the 10-11 straightaway. Good line out of 11 into 12. 12 now 13. He's now 22 hundredths ahead of the pace as he comes down through our low point. Hugging that sliders right, coming up through the finish time with a downtime of 50.20 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 40.57 seconds. Currently in first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Jared Firestone. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Baden Park, stand by, please. In the track sliding for Israel, we have Jared Firestone. Push time, 4.86 seconds. Jared is going to need a 50.32 seconds. In run 1, he had a 50.25. He's currently 57 hundredths ahead of that pace as he goes through 6, now 7, entering those labyrinth curves at 80.3 miles an hour. Exiting 11 on 2 runners as he comes out of 11, dropping out. Now going in 12, 13. He's 45 hundredths ahead of the pace, going through curve 14. Hugging that sliders right through low point, coming up through the finish line at 49.98 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 40.23 seconds. Currently in first place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Baden Park. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Josip Brusik, stand by, please. In the track sledding for the United States of America, we have Baden Park, push time, 4.95 seconds. Baden's going to need a 50.01 to maintain his position. He's currently 14 hundredths behind that pace as he comes out of 6, now into 7. Top speed, 80.1 miles an hour entering those labyrinth curves. He's fallen up further back. He's now 2/10 behind the pace as he exits 11 into 12. Good line out of 12 into 13. Falling further behind, he's 29 hundredths now as he approaches low point. Hugging that sliders right, going up through. Downtime, 50.53 seconds. Dropping 2 spots with a combined downtime of 1 minute 40.75. Currently third place at this time. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Josip Brusik. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Chung Hung Chang, stand by, please. Sliding for Canada, we have Josip Brusik with a push time of a very fast 4.65 seconds. Josip is going to need a 50.01 to maintain his position, and he's currently 44 hundredths ahead of that pace as he goes through 6, 7, entering those labyrinth curves at 79.4 miles an hour. Not quite enough speed. He's still holding on to a 3,500 high out of 11, going into 12. Good line in 12, 13. Falling further behind. He's now 18 hundredths ahead of the pace as he goes through those labyrinth curves right down the middle up through 15. Where's he going to be? 50.30 seconds combined downtime. 1 minute, 40.52 seconds. Dropping 1 position to second place. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Chung Hung Chang. Sled in track from the skeleton start. Marc-Antoine Vinault, stand by, please. In the track, sliding for Chinese Taipei, we have Chung Hung Chang. Push time, 4.88 seconds. Chung Hung Chang is going to need a 50.04 seconds to maintain his position. In Heat 1, he had a 50.19 seconds, so he's going to need to pick up a little bit more speed than his first run. Chung Hung Chang is currently 3,1 hundredths ahead of that pace right now as he comes out of curve 11 into 12. Good line out of 12 into 13. He's still 3/10 ahead of that pace as he goes down, hugging that sliders right, dropping a toe. Crossing that finish line with a 49.86 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 40.05 seconds. Currently first place at this time. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Marc-Antoine Vinault. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Lin Wei Peng, stand by, please. In the track sliding for Canada, we have Marc-Antoine Vinault. Push time, 4.89 seconds. Marc-Antoine's going to need a 50.05 to maintain his position. He's currently 600 ahead of that pace as he comes through 6 into 7. Now going into those labyrinth curves at 80.2 miles an hour. He's dropping back. He's now 600 behind the pace. He'll need to find some speed going through this lower half of the track, coming out of 12 into 13. He's still 600 behind the pace, exiting 14 at 80.2 miles an hour. Now full 10th behind the pace as he crosses the finish line with a downtime of 50.23 seconds, combined downtime, 1 minute, 40.23 seconds. Currently second place at this time. Track's now clear at skeleton start for Lin Wei Peng. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Andrew Whittier, stand by, please. In the track, we have Lin Wei Peng sliding for Chinese Taipei with a push time of 4.76 seconds. In Heat 1, Lin Wei Peng had a 49.71 seconds. He's going to need a 50.34 to maintain his position. He's currently 5,400 ahead of the pace as he enters those labyrinth curves at a speed of 80.7 miles an hour. Exiting curve 11 into 12, he's now 4,400 ahead of that pace as he comes into our low point. Speed, 77.1 miles an hour up through 15, 4,100 ahead of the pace as he crosses that finish line with a 49.96 seconds. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 39.67 seconds. Currently first place at this time with 1 slider remaining. Hold on the track, hold on the track. Attention, coaches, athletes. At the end of the race will be 15 minutes. We will have an awards ceremony at the finish dock. 15 minutes after our last slider. Two-minute warning to Andrew Whittier at the skeleton start. Track's now clear at the skeleton start for Andrew Whittier. Sled and track from the skeleton start. Our final slider of Heat 2 is Andrew Whittier. Andrew was our fastest slider in Heat 1 with a 49.03 seconds. He's going to need a 50.64 to maintain his position, and he's currently 84 hundredths ahead of that pace as he goes down through our labyrinth curves at 82 miles an hour. Approaching that 10-11 straightaway, he's now a full second ahead of that pace. Another victory lap. Andrew Whittier was our winner in yesterday's race, race 3 of the North American Cup Men's Skeleton. Coming down through low point, crossing that finish line with a downtime of 49.45 seconds, combined downtime, 1 minute, 38.48 seconds. Our unofficial top 6. In 6, we have Josip Brusik. Combined downtime, 1 minute, 40.52 seconds. We have a tie for 4th place with Jared Firestone sliding for Israel with a 1 minute, 40.23 seconds. And then Marc-Antoine Binault from Canada with a 1 minute, 40.23 seconds. In 3rd, we have Chung Hung Chang from Chinese Taipei with a 1 minute, 40.05 seconds. And in 2nd place from Chinese Taipei, Lin Wei Peng with a combined downtime, 1 minute, 39.67 seconds. And in 1st place, sliding for the United States of America, Andrew Whittier with a combined downtime, 1 minute, 38.48 seconds. So 15 minutes to the awards ceremony at the finish dock. 15 minutes.